Hi, everyone, and how are you all doing? I hope you guys are doing well. I'm recording this on Easter Sunday, and I wanted to share the sentiment before I lose it completely. I've been reading Martha Beck. Her book is called, let's just see, what is the book called? Finding Your Way in a Wild New World. And she has some paragraphs on love, romantic love, and how society generally has this view of romantic love as very clingy and needy. You know, she's got some quotes here from movies like "You complete me" or song lines. I can't live if living is without you. I can't sing either. But you know that song, it's like your romantic partner, your spouse becomes the one you need to survive. And we are brought up, fed on a diet of these rom-coms and Mills and Boone and these romantic love stories and Romeo and Juliet and all that kind of thing. And I think that is not what true love is. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't aspire to have a partner, but let me just read from Martha Beck's book. She just says it so beautifully. I don't think I could explain it as well, but I resonate so much with what she says that this may explain or help you to understand my difficulties with relationships. I often feel that relationships, I start to contract inside of a relationship instead of expanding. Although this last relationship, or the one I'm in now, I don't even know if I'm in it or not in it anymore. I don't know if we're together or not, because we basically are not really speaking to each other or we're trying to avoid each other for now. Anyway, it's neither here nor there. It's not like I'm running out looking for someone. It's the last thing I want to do. But in general, this has been a relationship that has been, I have been, I felt like I could be myself, but still not fully. And I think in a true oneness relationship where you are exploring your spiritual self as well, ideally the two of you should help each other to grow wings and fly. But anyway, she says here she's resisted calling oneness by the more common word love, because that term triggers a tangle of just plain crazy associations in many people's minds, which is true. The word love, we have these weird ideas in Western society. What often passes for love is more like drug addiction. She said it so beautifully. That's exactly how it often feels. You get into a relationship and like the person wants to possess you, and they want you to possess them as well. Often they want you to like cling on to them. A desperate, continuous attempt to make other people fill our emotional needs, an eternal clawing struggle to be rescued from what feels like solitary despair. Isn't that the case? So many of us get into relationships hoping for this emotional rescue, or in the case of many women, financial rescue, and I'm to blame as well. I definitely have been guilty of waiting for my prince to come and rescue me, the knight in shining armor. But these are tropes that we tell young women. These are stories, fairy tales that we all grew up on. You know, it's the superhero, Superman, who swoops in and saves the lady, the knight in shining armor who slays the dragon and rescues her, that prince's kiss who awakens her from a sleep. There are so many tales of the men, the love, rescuing the woman. It's no wonder that we sit around waiting to be rescued, honestly. And then it's like, ta-da, and life happily ever after. And we all know by now, in our 40s, we should know by now, that that is not how life or love work. But let me carry on reading what Martha Beck says. Some people tell their lovers with no sense of irony, I love you so much, I'll kill you if you ever try to leave me. I mean, no one's actually said that to me, but that sentiment, you can understand. You've seen people like that. You've heard people like that. The emotion that gives rise to such thoughts is not oneness, like spiritual, universal oneness, this idea that all things are one, that all matter arises from the one true source. It's a panicky response to a mechanistic myth of separation. It is a lie. You can master oneness only by accessing a state of genuine love, in which, as the good book says, there is no fear, and as Eckhart Tolle says, there is no wanting whatsoever. That's why oneness is the second. Now, she talks about technologies of magic. Anyway, you know how Martha Beck makes like these words up. So she says, let me turn the page here. She says, as long as we're trapped in stories about the bad things people have done or future fears and past regrets that pull us out of the present moment, our ability to love gets horrifically twisted. And that is true. Most of us, myself included, love another one out of fear, out of longing, out of wanting, and the other one wants something from you. So usually romantic pairings are when both of you want something from the other person and you think the other person can provide that thing. And I don't know what a spiritual coupling looks like, but it's something that I think in my mind would be a lot more, you would love that person with a freedom, without any restrictions at all, to the point where you could say, if they found someone else, they have your blessing. So in my head, and I don't know in practice if I could do this, but in my head, if I am in a partnership, in love, have a connection with somebody, and they had a connection with somebody else, I would say, go explore it. Go explore it. And I'm not a jealous person, so I feel like I could get there. And I feel like that is a sign of true love, is to want what's best for the other person, even if that seems to come at the cost of your own self. But anyway, I don't know. I could be wrong. So she says, our ability to love gets horrifically twisted. Consider the version of romantic love expressed in many popular songs. I love this part, with their endlessly repeated themes. I can't live if living is without you. That's the one I tried to sing. I'll be your hope. I'll be your love. I'll be everything that you need. I mean, yeah. I've been waiting for a girl like you to make me feel alive. How am I supposed to live without you when all that I've been living for is gone? And now she says, this isn't oneness, it's a hostage situation. And I just have to laugh. And I feel like that is what so many relationships are. They are hostage situations. And eventually the two people feel trapped, and then they feel resentful of each other. And then they just stick it out because neither of them have the energy or the wherewithal to go and to leave, to find someone else. They've become very dependent on each other. I remember when I got back together with my ex-husband, a friend of mine's mother said to me, well, better the devil you know. And I thought, is that all we can hope for, you know? Because she knew a little bit about our troubles. And she had a very difficult husband as well, this woman. And she always just said, the devil you know. But anyway, so she says about these love song lyrics, it's the kind of thing a parasite would sing to its host. Freud might call it cathexis, the projection of one's emotional need onto another, but not the love that considers the other's perspective. Now, here we are getting to what I would consider true, real love, which is very rare and very difficult to practice in romantic settings. I find I can do this easily with family and friends. I mean, towards my son, I just want him to live his best life, be his best self. I want the same things for all my friends. And I mean, with friendships, you don't get jealous that your friend has other friends. Maybe when we were in high school, we would get jealous because she's not your best friend too. I'm your only best friend. But, as we grow up and mature, we don't mind if our friends have other friends, or we shouldn't at least. And I feel like as we evolve and mature and grow into ourselves spiritually, or we become more conscious, we should have that same level of expansiveness towards our romantic partners. But again, this is very tricky for people to hear, and I hope they hear me in the right way. I'm not saying to go out and have affairs and hurt your partner willingly. I'm not saying to just run around and have open relationships unless you've both discussed it and it's what you both want. But I'm not saying open relationships are wrong either. Who am I to judge? I don't actually think that they're wrong if it's what both parties agree to. But that's just me. A Buddhist would immediately recognize it as, come on, turn the page, as, when you underline stuff, it doesn't want to turn the page. A Buddhist, come on, as attachment. So this kind of romantic love where you feel you can't live without the other one, that is attachment. It's not true love. And attachment, she says, is the source of all suffering. Romantic love in particular can turn into energetic parasitism, parasitism, because falling in love gives even the most emotionally isolated of us a glimpse of the oneness that is our natural state. When the initial hormone rush fades and we begin slipping back into the cold, violent sea that is the illusion of separation, we panic. Instead of sustaining oneness, like this true meditative feeling that all is one, we grasp at the other person, often emotionally crushing him or her, like a drowning person strangling a would-be rescuer. And I'm sure many of you have felt that before in your romantic love lives. I'm sure you have either done the crushing or you have felt crushed. And I mean, I'm sure in our lifetimes we could be both on both sides. When I tell clients that they need complete detachment in order to love fully and freely, they look at me as though I've offered to show them my treasured collection of pen pal letters from Stalin. And I think she's right, though. In my heart of hearts, I think she's right. We need a sense of detachment in order to actually truly love another person. Because to truly love another, you really would want the ultimate what's best for them, and that may take them away from you. And I feel like that is a situation I'm in now. Me wanting independence and my own home would take me away from my current partner or ex-partner. And I know that he doesn't want that because it would take me away from him. And I'm not saying that he is non-evolved or anything, but he's just got the normal, usual version and vision of romantic love, which is that the partners are together. But I feel that ultimately true love would want what's best for the other as well. But that's really hard to practice. I'm not saying it's always doable. So she says to her clients, to them, detachment sounds like the opposite of love. And this is for most people, it's true. But I just share this with you to expand your mind and your definition of love. So she says to them, detachment sounds like the opposite of love. Love is attachment. But actually, in the context of oneness, there's no need to attach to someone in order to be with him or her. We can feel our loved ones and everyone else and love itself all the time. Not easy to do, but this is where some growth would bring us to that point, hopefully. There's no possible way we could be separated from what we are. So there's no need to entrap. Come on, turn the page. Entrap, extort, wheedle, manipulate, or possess the object of our affections. And when I read that, I just thought, in every romantic coupling I've ever had, there has been manipulation and possession. And it can be so subtle. It can be so subtle. But it's there, this undertone of, you are mine, you belong to me, and you mustn't do X, Y, or Z. There are rules. You can't wear certain things. You can't talk in a certain way to other people. And I get it. Again, I get it. I'm not saying to go out and just have affairs and flirt with everyone and purposefully hurt our partners. I still think there's decorum and there's a way of being. But it's very subtle and it's tricky to talk about. But I think you know where I'm going with this. Here are some paired lists of expressions of love. This will explain how I feel. The left-hand column, or what I will say is number 1, contains thoughts that come from a belief in separation as reality. The right-hand column is grounded in a felt experience of oneness. Now, as I read them out, she asks, which one would you rather have your spouse, your parents, or your best friend say to you? Okay, let's read them. So, attachment, style, and then oneness, coming from a place of true oneness. You complete me is the attachment. I feel whole and I love sharing the joy of that with you. I mean, that's how I feel towards my son at all times. He doesn't complete me. I feel whole, but I love sharing the joy of life with him. Like, I'm so in love with my child, but I so do not want him to need me. I would like him to enjoy time with me, and if he doesn't, that's okay. And if he hates me, that's okay. And if he wants to rebel against me, that's okay. You know? Yeah, attachment. I need you to make me happy. Oneness. I'm happy and I love being with you. You see the difference? This is where I'm going with this. And I still haven't found a love connection that embodies that more expansive feeling. Attachment. Without you, my life would be a joyless wasteland. Oneness. My life is wonderful. Come share it with me. Attachment. I need to be with you all the time. Oneness. I love being with you when you feel like being with me. So it's very much like, if you want to hang out, let's hang out. If you don't, I'm also cool with that. Attachment. I can't stand the thought of your focusing on anyone but me, which is how most couples are. Oneness. I want you to have lots and lots of love in your life. Attachment. If you leave me, I'll never forgive you. Oneness. You can't leave me even by dying because we're always connected wherever we are. I would actually tweak that one to say, you can leave me because we're always connected, meaning it's irrelevant. But this is a tough one because death does feel like the great separator. I battle to feel connected to my father who has passed, and I battle to feel the presence of loved ones who have passed on. But anyway, that's just me. Maybe I need to tune in more. Okay, attachment. You're here to heal my wounds. Oneness. I know how to heal my own wounds, or at least I will try to heal my own wounds, and how to love you as you heal yours. And I resonate so much with what she's written there. We need to become whole, individual, independent beings in and of our own selves. And then we need to want to share with others without trying to cling and hold on to them and keep them there forever. You know, I always think if someone doesn't want to be with me, I don't want them to stay. I really wouldn't want them to stay. And would that hurt? Sure. I mean, if somebody doesn't want to be with me, temporarily it would sting, but I want people to be where they want to be. And sure, if my son goes off to study somewhere as he grows up, will I miss him? Hell yes, but I want him to go and live his life. And that is the kind of partnership I would need, I think, if I ever get into a relationship again. But anyway, I just wanted to share this expansive view of love. And I think it's not easy for most of us to attain. I would love to hear your thoughts. Yeah, I just read that and was so inspired that I really wanted to share that. So I will see you guys in the next video. Share your thoughts and thank you. There are so many new subscribers. This is very exciting for me. See you in the next one. Bye.